We're going to continue our study of surface area, focusing now on the triangular prism. Just to review, surface area is dealing with the outside. And so we're wanting to know how many squares would it take to cover that entire triangular prism. Let me be clear that this is going to be the hardest one out of any of the things that we do. Surface area of triangular prisms is the one that students struggle with the most year after year. I will try to make this as easy as I can. So the thing to note is that you're dealing with the sum of two congruent triangular faces Remember that congruent means that they're equals. And 3 rectangular faces. The thing that most students mess up on is assuming that because in a rectangular prism, the rectangles are, you have 2 congruent rectangles, that students assume that's going to be the same for this, and it's not necessarily true. In order to get the 3 rectangular faces, this is the one that students struggle with the most, is the rectangular faces. The first thing you have to note is you're going to take each side of the triangle and you're going to multiply by the height of the prism, meaning the side that's not on the triangle. And this is what students struggle with the most. So I'm going to try and hopefully make this as easy to understand as possible. So let's take a look at the first one. And we're asked to find the surface area of this triangular prism. So one thing that some students find helpful is to outline the triangle. We know it's a triangular prism because there's 2 triangular sides. Two triangular faces, and by definition 2 faces makes it a prism. The other thing to note is that they indicate to you that this side is 42, which also tells us that this side will be 42 inches there for its isosceles. So the first thing we have to do is deal with our 2 triangles. So we have 2 triangles. We know that area of the triangle is base times height divided by 2. The base of our triangle is 44. The height of the triangle is 36. Remember that base and height of the triangle can be located by that right angle box. So we have 44 times 36. Triangle says we have to divide by 2. And we end up with 792 inches squared. And there are 2 triangular faces. We know this because by definition of a prism it has 2 congruent bases that name the shape. Now we have to deal with the rectangles. And the easiest way that I know how to deal with the rectangles is to say, what are the 3 sides of your triangle? The 3 sides are 42, 42, and 44. Now, we have to talk about the height of the prism. The height of the prism is the one number that is not on the triangle. We know that 42, 42, 44 are the 3 sides of the triangle. We know 36 is the height of the triangle. 72 has nothing to do with the triangle. It's the side, it's the edge that connects the 2 triangles. Therefore, being the edge that connects the 2 triangles, it makes it the height of the prism. So that's one way to kind of make it easier. 42 by 72 can also be thought of as 42 by 72 is this side, but it's also the other side. So if this was a tent, it's the 2 sides standing up. And then 44 by 72 are going to be the rectangle that it's sitting on the bottom. So that's how I got the 3 dimensions for the rectangles. 42 times 72 is 3,024. And we have 2 sides because that's what the 2 sides of the tent are, I guess, in this case. And then we have the face that's sitting on the ground. Don't call it the base. Remember that the base of the triangular prism is the triangles. So that gives us 44 times 72, which is 3,168. So now we're asked to find the sum of all 5 sides, the 2 triangles and the 3 rectangles. And that gives us a total of 10,800 inches squared. Now let's take a look at the second one. We are asked to locate, or we are asked for the area of the 2 triangles. So if we take a look, these are the 2 triangles. And in this case, I can outline both of them because we can see both of them. When we go to do the 2 triangles, we need the base and the height of the triangles. In this case, we look for the right angle box. The right angle box is touching the side that's 6 inches and the side that's 8 inches, meaning that 6 and 8 are our base and height. It's a triangle, so we know we have to divide by 2, and that gives us 24 inches squared. There are 2 congruent triangles, so we know we have to do 6 times 8 divided by 2, again, to get 24 inches squared. Now we need to deal with the 3 rectangles. Once again, the easiest way I can describe figuring out what the 3 rectangles are to look at what are the 3 sides of your triangles. In this case, our sides are 6, 8, 10, and we need to figure out what the height of the prism is. The height of the prism is the number that has nothing to do with the triangle, or you can think of it as the side that connects the 2 triangles. In this case, that number is 5. So we have 6 times 5 is 30 inches squared. And we have 8 times 5, which is 40 inches squared. And we have 10 times 5, which is 50 inches squared. The last thing we're asked to do is to find the sum of the 2 triangular faces, or 2 triangular bases, and the 3 rectangular faces. And that gives us a total of 168 inches squared. If you're needing to see the 3 rectangular faces, 6 times 5 is going to be this one right here, and 8 times 5 is going to be this one right here, and then 10 times 5 is this one right here. So hopefully that makes it easier to see the 3 rectangular faces.